to my minister, Minister Imhotep, who passed away. Like, I just found out before I came to the show. So thank you for honoring me, and thank you for honoring him and allowing me to honor him in this show tonight. I'm going to play another song that he really loved as well. He loved reggae music. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is my out. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is my out. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is my out. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is my out. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way it should be. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way it should be. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the road is mine. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way it should be. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way we should be. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. If you want to live a good life, a good life, the way is mine. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Yes, that's called Good Life. And Maat simply means just what I said: truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, beauty, peace, balance, harmony. That's how we live a good life. Thank you.
Shit. Thank you, Sister Gloria. Thank you very much for bringing us together again. Thank you, Baba Jeff. We'll say Grand Rising. Grand Rising, we'll say is a community of the sacred African way. The way is Ma'at, truth, justice, and righteousness. We believe in the teachings of our elders and our ancestors that the Creator God created the universe and all life and has placed in each of us a part of the divine spirit. God living in us and through us has given us the right and the power to establish peace and justice in all human life and true harmony with all of creation. As you join us today on Zoom, please identify yourself by name by showing yourself on camera and stay muted unless you're sharing a specific comment with our service. As is our custom, we Africans begin with libation to our ancestors. Today, we're led again by Baba Wasuf. Baba Wasuf, you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
Ashe.
Ene, ne, te, I submit to the Supreme Being who is ever becoming. Ashe. To Amen Ra, that which is hidden, and to Ra, our spirit, Holy Spirit, Amen Ra. Ashe.
Ashe.
To Neber Chair, Paul Netru, Lord of all, and the Neteru of the Tree of Life, Ashe.
Ashe.
To Oser, the representative of our divinity, Ashe.
Ashe.
We give thanks to the Neter of wisdom, destiny, power, Tehuti, and Sekert, Ashe.
Ashe.
We give thanks for Maat and its restoration, Item Herokohuti, Item Maat, Item Herokohuti, Wanu Chatakut. We give thanks for Neteru that gives us the ability to speak forth our 7 principles to Heru, and our eyes being restored and being able to speak for ourselves, name for ourselves, and for us being able to open our eyes and see the many things we can do but for ourselves. Ashe. We give thanks for Heteru, Oshun, for Kuumba creativity. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe for joy. Ashe for harmony. Ashe for inner peace. Ashe for beauty. Ashe. Ashe for Sebek for the way being open. Ashe.
Ashe.
E to M for Osset for our ability to remember who we once were, to be devoted to work on our traditional greatness, to remember our traditional greatness and working on that. Ashe. We thank you for a corporeal being. Thank you, Geb, for having a physical being to do the work on this earthly plane. And we pour libation to our Shepsu Eku, Meaning in translation, Shep, Su, Eaku, all their ancestors, Eaku, are honored wise folk. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And I pour libation for honored ancestors of my family line, Ashe. For the Sheps and the guidance that they gave to my father, Carl Patrick Jones, Ashe. My mother, Nettie Mae Jones, Ashe. My late wife, Cleo Safensa Ari Anch, Ashe. And to one of our recently departed honored ancestors, Minister Imhotep Akibulan, Ashe. Call the ancestors, Ashe.
Mr. and Mrs. Leroy and Hazel Conley, Ashe.
Ashe.
Come and be with us. Mr. and Mrs. Eugene and Lily Mae Young Sr., Ashe. Come and be with us. Mr. and Mrs. Wilfred and Virginia Harvey, Ashe.
Ashe.
Mr. and Mrs. Dixon, Ashe. Come and be with us.
Ashe.
For Valeria Gadsden Sams.
Ashe. Come and be with us.
Ashe.
For Leslie
Robert
Campbell.
Cherry.
Ashe. Come and be with us.
Leslie Campbell.
Ashe. Come and be with us.
Dr. Anna Wilson.
Ashe. Come and be with us. Mr. Makinya Sibeko Kouete, Ashe, come and be with us.
Ashe. Mama Angina.
Ashe, come and be with us. Minister Lizelle Williams, Ashe, come and be with us. Dr. Yosef Ben Yekinen, Ashe, come and be with us.
For Brother Joseph Browning.
Ashe, come and be with us.
Hey.
Ashe, come and be with us.
Yusuf Ali.
Ashe, come and be with us.
Renoko Rashidi.
Ashe.
Come and be with us.
Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Ashe,
Ashe.
come and be with us.
Queen Mother Audrey Moore.
Ashe,
Ashe.
come and be with us.
Robert Nesta Marley.
Ashe.
Come and be with us. Reverend Saint Onaday Ruth John William Coltrane and his wife, Taria Sagitananda Alice Coltrane. Ashe, come and be with us.
Grandmother Pearl McCrae.
Ashe, come and be
Carol
with us.
Denise McNair, Addie Mae Collins,
Come and be with us.
Cynthia
Ashe,
Wesley,
come and be with us. Ashe, come and be with
Virgil Lamar Ware.
us. Ashe, come and be with us.
Quincy Jones and my friend and Jerry Wills.
Ashe, come and be with us.
Wanda Parker Pryor.
Ashe, come and be with us. Sister Jasiri Kadiri. Ashe, come and be with us. Ancestors Shepsu who died in the Middle Passage, the Ma'afa. Ashe, come and be with us.
Kijane Aisha Brown.
Ashe,
Ashe.
come and be with us.
As we gather all of our ancestors in our mind's eye and our heart, and our final three Ashes, call out their names. All together, Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
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 Ashe. Oh, ancestors.
Ashe.
Thank you, Bob.
It is done.
Thank you, Baba Wasuf. And now, Mama Saraswati will lead us in circle prayer.
Ashe. Good morning, family. We will begin our prayer this morning with a moment of silence as part of our official remembrance of Minister Imhotep, and then I will begin the prayer. Ashe. Good morning, blessed selves. We will begin our prayer with a reading from 2000 Seasons by Ayikwe Arma, page 158 in my book. That there is indeed a great force in the world, a force spiritual and able to shape the physical universe. But that force is not something cut off, not something separate from ourselves. It is an energy in us, strongest in our working, breathing, thinking together as one people, weakest when we are scattered, confused, broken into individual and unconnected fragments. Strong liberator, divine protector, we come to you this morning in the spirit of Ra. We come joyous and victorious in the spirit that resides within each of us and most powerfully within this circle of prayer. We come with the infinite power that is found in unity. We are grateful, Most High, so very grateful for each breath, each step, and each relationship that you give us, as we know that wherever we look, you are there. We are grateful for food and shelter and clarity of mind. We are grateful for wose and community and family and friends. We are grateful for life. Within our circle, there is a need for peace and rest and healing that only you can provide. We call out by name the El-Kabalon family, Minister Makalisi, Queen Mother Thurston, but all others on our prayer list who need our coverage. We hold them in our hearts and we bring them to this circle of infinite power that shapes the universe and is found in the way. We are challenged this morning to take up the mantle of the way, to stop being spectators and utilize the beautiful gifts that were given to us for war. There are distractions on every hand, our own inner conflicts, sometimes unfounded and going nowhere, material desires that never end. Free us from the bondage of social media and the usage of electronics or abuse of that usage. Help us to seek answers in books and from the wisdom of our elders. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. We also pray for those outside the circle, the unhoused, incarcerated, hungry, lost, addicted, those suffering from post-traumatic stress, and that might be all of us. Help us to be a beacon to those souls and turn our ministry outward as we see ourselves in them and the beauty of relationships. Use us, grow us, heal us, strengthen us as you protect us the way you did our ancestors who were firmly rooted against all manner of calamity and in whom we found unlimited joy and love. We are children of the sun. In every task we shall overcome. We were first upon the earth and will be the last. That is the holy word. Thank you, Akash, for holding this planet in place. Thank you for holding this solar system in place. Thank you for holding this galaxy in place. Thank you for holding this cosmos in place. Amun Ra, spirit within me. Hear our prayers, both spoken and unspoken, Lord. We come to thee. Amen and Ashe. Thank you, family.
All right. Are there announcements? Announcements either for Oakland or for Sacramento?
I will do Sacramento first.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, family. These are your WOSE Sacramento announcements for September 14th, 2025. You are invited to attend the Kemetic Spiritual Book Study, which meets every Sunday at 9 a.m. The meeting login and ID are the same as for our Sunday service. Join us in intercessory prayer for your WOSE family on Mondays and Fridays at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Time. This flyer will also be in the chat. Please continue to pray for those on our prayer list. The prayer list will also be in the chat for you to use on your own during the week in your prayer closet. A reminder of our resolution. A period of official remembrance shall be observed for 30 days by moments of silence and special livocations during meetings and church services to acknowledge the transition of our esteemed and beloved minister Imhotep Alkebalon. If someone is interested in presenting, please send a topic with a short paragraph description and your available Wednesday, which is to say from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to imhotepalkebalon@gmail.com. We are looking to start Black Knowledge Matters in October. You can also dial area code 916-835-1823. Ashe. September 28th will be the date of our next in-person service in Sacramento at the new location where we celebrated our 40th anniversary, that is to say 7000 Franklin Boulevard, Suite 1020. Ashe.
Good morning. This is Baba Tai. We have no Oakland announcements this morning.
These are your WOSE
Thanks.
Sacramento announcements. Sorry.
And thank you. We look forward to the coming week.
Did you hear that Baba Tai say we have no Oakland announcements this morning?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
we'll continue. So, with affirmation, we have Baba John and Sister Mariana. Sister Mariana?
We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony amongst us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, listen, study, so we may learn to teach and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God.
Ashe. Yes, we are children of God. Thank you, Baba John. Thank you, Sister Mariana. And now we'll hear from our songstress, Sister Sabrina. Sister Sabrina, you ready to go?
Historical tribute.
I'm so.
I'm ready, but
Yes?
I think, yeah, there's a song.
Yes. Song first. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We'll get you going.
Okay. Is my camera on now?
Yes. You're on.
All right. Can I know this is between us, but do this test to make sure? Could you hear me?
Yes, you're live.
Okay. Greetings, Wose. I'm going to stand up back here.
Greetings, sister.
Yes. And I don't get nervous usually anymore when I sing, but I have to admit I'm a little nervous. And I guess it's because, like they say in the South. Can you see me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I want to do right by Minister Imhotep with this song. But first, let me just say, I think most of us, if not all of us, were at the homegoing for our fearless leader last Saturday, almost just over a week ago, the beautiful homegoing that it was. And as I entered the room, and there were so many people, and brothers were assisting me to get a seat, namely Damani, thank you Damani, amongst all the people, I couldn't help but notice the song that was playing. And it was the perfect song for this for Minister Imhotep and the homegoing and just embracing the change. It was Everything Must Change. And I'm on the music ministries, or music department, with Sister Gloria and Sister Tony, and so we schedule singers in advance. And I knew I would be singing in September, but I didn't know that was scheduled in June. I had no idea, and as September approached, I thought, what am I going to sing? But with all of the events, and then hearing that song, I said, well, that's a no-brainer. It was low coming through the loudspeaker, softly, I should say, but it was beautiful. And it just so happens I even recorded that tune on my CD, and I've not sung it in a long time. So this is so appropriate as we all face the challenge of facing reality that Rose Sack will change. It has changed without our leader. But there are other leaders, and there's that are stepping up, which is wonderful. So anyway, as we face this challenge, so to speak, you know what, I've got to mute no, I think it's muted. So anyway, what I was trying to say is, as we face this reality that our leader has ascended into the ancestral realm, I think it's good to keep in mind that he would not only want us to accept this change, but embrace the change, because that's the kind of leader he was. So with that said, I'm going to sing this tune. I think is so fitting, Everything Must Change. ancestors now. He is an ancestor. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart must heal, yes it will, but never much too soon. Yes, everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure. Let's do another moment of silence as we listen to the horn play. This is the horns of the ancestors in the spirit realm, I think, welcoming Minister Imhotep to the ancestral realm with beautiful horns. The wonderful homegrown. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry. And music makes me cry.
Outstanding. Thank
That
you.
was wonderful,
Thank
Sister
you, Sister
Sabrina. Just
Sabrina.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
Quite appropriate.
Outstanding. And now, Baba Damani has an historical tribute for us.
Okay. So I can share my screen now?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Okay, can you everybody hear me, right? Okay,
Just fine.
okay. There's time in our serving, we do the historical tribute. Time in our serving, we honor and keep alive the contributions and accomplishments of our ancestors for 5 generations back. Okay, and today's presentation is on Black August like you never heard before. The information and analysis I'm presenting to you ideas that come from this book, Tip of the Spear by Dr. Sami Burton, dealing with Black radicalism, prison repression, and the long Attica Revolt. A tip of the spear is a military idiom, meaning the first to break through enemy lines. One of the Black Panthers is now passed away. Political prisoners are now passed away. He told Dr. Sami Burton that we were the tip of the spear, but he passed away before he could see this book. Anyway, going to the next slide. Okay, and Black August is an annual commemoration
Baba
of...
Damani, we're not seeing your slides yet. Did you share the slides already?
Yes. You're not seeing my slides?
Not yet.
Oh, man. Let me see.
We're seeing you, but not your slides.
Yes, just your camera.
Okay,
your
I
face
shared.
on camera.
Okay, let me share again. Okay, I'm sorry.
There we are. It's coming now.
Okay, you got it? Let me
It's
share
coming.
this. Okay, I'm trying to share my...
There it is. Oh, wait. No, I think we're seeing your desktop.
Okay, I'm trying to find my presentation here. Oh, boy. Well, let me open it up again. It must have... Well, let me open up my presentation again.
Okay.
Okay, you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes. Start the slideshow, and I think you're ready to go. Yep. And there it is. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, today's presentation is on a Black August, like you never heard before. The information I'm going to present to you, analysis, come from this book, Tip of the Spear by Dr. Sami Burton. Tip of the spear is a military idiom, meaning first to break through enemy lines. That phrase was given to him by a political prisoner, a Black Panther member who's now passed away, who didn't get a chance to see this book come to fruition. This is I have a lot of books. I'm passionate about this book. I read this book every page, this book is packed with information. Real fast, chapter 2 of this book deals with the Black solidarity under siege. Chapter 4 deals with the hidden war, which is a protracted war. And chapter 7 deals with war on Black revolutionary minds. Anyway, tip of the spear is a revolutionary military idiom, meaning first to break through enemy lines. Okay, next. Okay, Black August is an annual commemoration of and prison-based holiday to honor the lives of our Black freedom fighters and PP political prisoners. If we lived in Kenya, it would be unthinkable not to honor the sacrifices of the Mau Mau. What I'm trying to say is the freedoms we enjoy today, the opportunities we enjoy today, somebody paid the price. Somebody, sacred blood. Uh, Somebody paid the price. Black August is a broad subject. Our history of resistance against racial, colonial, and imperialist oppression is an extensive, century-long subject. I will focus on why Black August is more important than February, Black History Month, which was started by Dr. Carter G. Woodson in 1926. Black History Month gives us pride, but requires no deep thinking. We'll explain in the next slide. It only requires the regurgitation of facts and some accomplishments of our ancestors. I'm going to keep moving. Um, Tip of the spear boldly and compellingly argues that prisons are a domain of hidden warfare within U.S. borders. Dr. Burton, a social anthropologist at American University, while teaching political science in prison with the Prison Moratorium Project, a nonprofit created by Black Panther and political prisoner Eddie Ellis. He interviewed over 6 former survivors of political prisoners of the 60s and 70s New York prison rebellion, brothers now in their 80s. He was tasked by the elders to bring academic rigor and the tools of a scholar to bear to tell their story. The official story, they're just fighting to get better prison conditions. That's only half of the story. 10 years prior to writing the book, Dr. Burton pours over 300,000 pages of FBI files with the help of outspoken and unbroken Deruba Ben Wahid. He's a former Black Panther, a political prisoner who started chapters all up and down the East Coast. He's a member of the New York 21, along with Assata Shakur, escaped to Cuba. Um, the New York 21 was framed. Most of them did 2 years in prison. But Deruba did about 21, 22 years in prison before winning his release and a settlement. And what Dr. Sami Burton unearthed is war on Black unity, solidarity, and consciousness. Next slide. Did I skip a slide? I think I skipped a slide. Hold up for a minute. I skipped a slide. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Okay. When studying the lives of Black, this is why Black August is more important than Black History Month. It requires a deep level of thinking. When studying the lives of Black freedom fighters and Black radical intellectuals, we got to study many things simultaneously at the same time. It's layered. We're studying revolutionary consciousness, revolutionary analysis. What was there resisting? What is the objective of the ruling white supremacy class? Must be understood first. I'm going to get to that in a couple of slides. Science of class struggle. They had to study the enemy signs of oppression and subjugation. Had to study military science, insurgency and counterinsurgency. They had to study 5 different types of warfare: hidden war, protracted war, narrative warfare, cognitive warfare, psychological warfare. A lot of stuff is going on today in our world. Asymmetric warfare, which is guerrilla warfare, had to understand clandestine operations, settler colonialism, capitalism, imperialism, pacification programs, reformist counterinsurgency, which I get to at the end. George Jackson, the honorary general of the Black Panther Party, people like Honorable Harriet Tubman, Dr. Huey P. Newton, and other Black freedom fighters was thinking and theorizing on this level. 5 days after the assassination of George Jackson, J. Edgar Hoover puts out a memo stating that the Black extremists had psychological control of the prison population. Now, real fast, Dr. Hood P. Newton made George Jackson the honorary general of the Black Panther Party. That's why we're celebrating Black August. George and Jonathan Jackson, 9 years after their death, they started honoring the lives of all the Black freedom fighters in the political prisons. The prisoners back then, when George Jackson became honorary general, let me back up. He started the Black guerrilla family with W.L. Nolan, George Jackson, and Big Jake Lewis. I think that's his name, Big Jake. They started the Black guerrilla family in prison. And what they did, they was organized cell by cell, block by block, floor by floor. And they had an informal education system in the prison system. They were studying the works of Mao Zedong, Mao. They were studying the works of Frantz Fanon. They were studying the works of Che Guevara and other revolutionaries, studying all the revolutionary classics. And so psychological control of prison population mean they would order work stoppages. The cell doors were open in the morning and nobody would come out of those cells. They would do hunger strikes. And so they was very organized. That was unity. And the system was bent on breaking up this unity. Now, to understand this story, you have to understand the purpose of prisons. I'm going to read through this very fast. Prisons was designed to incarcerate the revolutionary politics of the movement, which was about transforming the world. Prisons was a strategy to interrupt the development of black revolutionary consciousness outside the walls. Prisons was an attempt to incarcerate black radicalism. This particular class of black radical intellectuals, it failed, it backfired, it led to a proliferation of prison rebellions, culminating in the Attica prison rebellion. After Attica, events in the California prisons had to change, reform, modify, and reconstitute themselves in order to fully prevent these waves of, I call TNT, thinking, knowing, and theorizing from circulating outside the prison walls. Now comes counterinsurgency. Also, prisons, was a social control mechanism. There's more to it, but we'll keep moving. Counterinsurgency is population warfare. PP stands for political prisoners, and RPI is radical political intellectuals in and outside the walls, knew first and foremost the primary goal of racist and white supremacists for centuries has been to create in black people a pacified, domesticated subject, divested of self-autonomy. Self-autonomy is to think for yourself. Since we was enslaved, they didn't want us thinking for ourselves. That's where self-determination, Kukujalclear comes in. Self-will, self-identity. They want to have no self-will, no self-identity. And who sees no need for continued struggle, who's only an exploitable commodity for capitalist production. In the introduction of his book, Dr. Burton talks about a speech given at Greenhaven Prison in New York 2 years after the Attica Rebellion by Queen Mother Audrey Moore, explaining the white power structure had a well-thought-out science of oppression, strategies and tactics to denature African people, crush our spirits. She likened the process to taming lions. Queen Mother Moore was back there with Marcus Garvey. Anyway, crush our spirits. She likened the process to taming lions. In order to survive, she told the captives, we're going to have to recognize them and develop counter strategies. Same thing we got to do today. Next slide. After Attica, white settler colonial governments and prison crets realized that repression breeds resistance. So the black prison intellectuals knew that tough, inhumane conditions, that was they considered that the training ground for revolutionaries, those tough, inhumane conditions in the prisons. Recruited revolutionaries ready to die for the people. They would meet each other in the prisons and said, with the Black Power salute, and said, for the people. Meaning they was ready to die for the people. The prisoners reasoned that they was dying in prisons on the streets from racist pigs, living in poverty, no opportunities. They might as well die trying to transform the world, rid the world of imperialism, colonialism, and parasitic capitalism. Anyway, PSC stands for Prison Solidarity Community. It was a group of young white lawyers and some black lawyers representing the prisoners arranged for free prisoners to speak before a committee of prison crits who was talking about rehabilitation programs. A brother named Little told the committee it was nothing wrong with them, that they need to be rehabilitated. And they said, to be like who? Rockefeller? The Mellons? These racist prison guards? Are you all sitting here? The structure of society is defective. It's what needs restructuring, not them. that social life is afflicted by capitalism and white supremacy. I repeat that social life is afflicted by capitalism and white supremacy. If the prison critics, etc., was truly interested in eliminating violence, crime, and social ills, they would attack these systems of power that created a dog-eat-dog society that requires crime and punishment. That's a revolutionary analysis. Okay, this book right here, I had this book for 25 years. This pamphlet was written and circulated around 1974. The author was unknown. Deruba bin Wahid recently admitted in this book and on YouTube videos that he was the author of this book. This is Message to the Black Movement, political statement from the Black Underground, Black Liberation Army. What this was counter-psychological warfare. It was no big black revolutionary army. You had a few gun groups, organized gun groups, but it was no full black liberation army. But the purpose of this book was to pick up, for black men and women to pick up the gun and break the psychosis of fear. Break the psychosis of fear. Anyway, moving right along. Anyway, counterinsurgency, military science. I'm going to go over specific terms. Put the movement in context. The 1960s. From 1964 to 1968, we had 329 urban rebellions. 100 in 1968 alone after Martin Luther King was assassinated. Dr. King's assassination really grew the ranks of the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army, because here you go, a man of peace who wanted to live in peaceful coexistence, and you killed him, a man who wanted to have peaceful coexistence. So around the world, putting the movement in context, there's hundreds of guerrilla movements around the world. You have in Mozambique, you have in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, in Philippines, in Vietnam, in Japan, all throughout Latin America, the FARC. You had hundreds of guerrilla movements to rid the world of colonialism, rid the world of the colonizers. Okay, CI stands for counterinsurgency, learned in theaters of war in Central America, Africa, and Vietnam, etc., by Rockefeller and the Dulles brothers. Nelson Rockefeller, I'm referring to, was the governor of New York at the time in the 70s. And the Dulles brothers, I'm talking about James and Allen Douglas. James, they named the airport after these guys. James Dulles was the head of the Secretary of State, and his brother Allen was in charge of the CIA. And they was involved in counterinsurgency operations in throughout Central America, Africa. Anyway, the word neutralize is a military euphemism, meaning to convert, capture, or kill. That's why they killed Dr. King, killed Amilcar Cabral, put Nelson Mandela in jail, killed a lot of our leaders, and put others, locked others up in prison, Patrice Lumumba and so on. Anyway, the word subversion. This is what's going on today in a lot of times. Subversion is a tactical deployment of propaganda and other measures. Military, economic, social, and culture. This is subversion is a tactic used to influence the OPB of hostile. OPB stands for opinions, emotions, attitudes, and behavior of hostile, neutral, or friendly groups in such a way as to support the achievement of national objectives. Another military science technique is disruption. Disruption is tactics, clandestine tactics, designed to interrupt, fracture, confuse, and divide an organized opposition. All these tactics was used to break up our unity and solidarity in the 60s and 70s. Next slide. 4 strategies of reform counterinsurgency. Number 1, expansion in New York. They went from 12 prisons in 1971 to 71 by 2000, year 2000. So they went from 12.5 thousand prisoners to 71,000 prisoners by 2000. So sure, it was a social control mechanism. They rolled out the Rockefeller drug laws. But this also was a convert, prison expansion into rural areas was a covert jobs program for rural white America who lost jobs to deindustrialization. Investors buy bonds for prison expansion, bypassing voters. Prison industry is born. Today you have the immigrant detention industry. Black and brown citizens are targeted. They build maximum, medium, and minimum security prisons. I'll get to that in a minute. All with different rights and privileges for good behavior. This was classic counterinsurgency. What they did, they built maximum prisons for the political prisoners and the organizers. They had medium and minimum security prisons. You get more rights and privileges in the medium and the minimum security prisons, like a shower every day, like time in the yard, the library, visitation rights, correspondence rights, that the guys in maximum security wasn't getting. This was designed to cleave support, to break up the unity, and to get people away from the listening to the black radical intellectuals. Okay, then why Council 82? Council 82 was a prison guards union called for reform, which is central to counterinsurgency. And this Council 82, they was being attacked, a counterattack, counter revolutionary violence. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Council 82, I'll get to that in a minute. Prisons become a counter-revolutionary laboratory to develop counterinsurgency techniques to be used on the general population. After Attica, well, let me explain. Attica took place between September 9th and September the 13th, 1971. And the brothers took over the Attica prison and set up a parish-type commune where they looked after everybody's needs was met. They brothers who did electrical work. Brothers did electrical work, fixed the electrical. Brothers did plumbing work, fixed the plumbing. Brothers that did woodwork, fixed all the bunks and the woodwork in the prison. And they created an environment that they wanted to live in, a civilized environment. This was happening during the apartheid. And up and down, his book is called The Long Attica Revolt. Now, the prisons were so organized in the Auburn prison and Green Haven prison and the Combs and the New York City jail system. They took over several of these prisons about 4 times, took 40, 50 people hostages, took 40, 50 prison guards hostages, only to release them a couple of days later. And so they was that organized. Everybody was involved in intelligence gathering. Okay, after Attica, a meeting at the Marine base in Quantico, Virginia took place. In attendance was wardens from all over the country. The CIA, the FBI, and counterinsurgency experts from America and Europe. He also brought in psychiatrists from Ivy League schools from Canada with MK Ultra experiments who honed their skills in the foreign theaters of resistance to colonialism, all committed to isolating those they considered black and brown extremists, and redirecting their consciousness and grievance into political avenues they established for them. Prisons was flooded with drugs, wine, and TVs. The effects were studied and analyzed. Lobotomy experiments were carried out. Food was tampered with. And then lobotomy is when they go into your eyes or go into your head and try to separate your prefrontal cortex from the rest of your brain. That's the kind of stuff they was doing to the prisoners. And they still didn't break their spirits. It still didn't work. And throughout America was flooded with drugs. So black communities were flooded with drugs, alcohol, and guns. They first did this in the prison system in New York, all up and down New York and California, to break up black consciousness, to get brothers to stop reading. When the brothers went to prison, it was no TVs. All they had to do was read and study books, right? When Malcolm X went to prison, he met a philosopher named Bimby, and the rest is history. So everybody was reading and studying. It wasn't a bunch of TVs and stuff to distract them. Moving to the next one, I'll move a little fast here. I got about a couple more slides. First strategy of reform counterinsurgency. Reforms are central to counterinsurgency, designed to cleavage support from the hardcore cadres. those with revolutionary consciousness, revolutionary analysis, and knowledge of strategies and tactics. This is done by ameliorating poor conditions to pacify resistance, quell anger, and discontent. What they were trying to do was quell dissent and anger to turn rebelliousness into compliance. To turn rebelliousness into compliance. Number two was humanization. They allowed more showers every day. This is what the showers every day, better food, clothing, more visitation privileges, remove monitors in visit rooms, stop the use of gas, excessive force on prisoners. They opened up diversification programs and facilities, maximum, medium, minimum security. I already went through that. With the offender population, the aim is to turn differences into social advantages and behavior modification strategy. Number four was programification. They let the prisoners have a Martin Luther King Day, college courses, book clubs, music, art classes, AA groups, etc., to replace the informal prison class run by the black radical intellectuals. And who brought this about was Council 82, was the Prison Guards Union. What happened? They started attacking the prison guards. This whole story was behind when W.L. Nolan got killed in January 13th, 1970. It was a fight broke out in the prison yard at San Quentin between white and black inmates, and the prison guards in the tower shot down 3 black inmates, and one of them was it might have been 4 black inmates, and one of them was W.L. Nolan. That was George Jackson's mentor, and that set off a chain of events. You also had that set off a chain of events. And 3 days later, a prison guard got beat up and thrown off a 6th floor tier. It's called retaliatory violence, and that stopped the guys in the towers from shooting down at shooting prisoners in the yard. That cut that out right there. Also, after Attica, let me back up. At Attica, you had Victor Martinez of the Young Lords. He was chosen as a spokesman for the prisoners, and his opening statement to the press was, "400 years of oppression ends today. 400 years of imperialism ends today. 400 years of racism ends today." And so that was Victor Martinez of the Young Lords. Anyway, I'm skipping a lot of stuff, but I can't share everything. Oh man, what happened to my screen? Hold on, I think I had one more. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's the end of my presentation. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, just fine.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's the end of my
It's
presentation.
just jaw-dropping to hear about so much
Beautiful.
very, very scholarly and
Okay,
thoughtful
I just like to wait
work.
one more comment. It was a lot of clandestine operations that brought about the freedoms we enjoy today. For example, when Jonathan Jackson went up into the Marin County courthouse on August 7th, 1970, a year before George, couple weeks before George got killed. That was a clandestine operation. When Jonathan Jackson went up in Marin County Courthouse, that was a clandestine operation. Another clandestine operation was in San Francisco on Cesar Chavez at the jail on Cesar Chavez. Somebody stuck a shotgun through the. Let me back up. They started a disturbance about 10 miles away and drew the police over there. And then the guys tried to break into the jail on Cesar Chavez. They stuck a shotgun through the window and killed whoever was sitting behind the window, and tried to break into the jail cell to release some folks, their comrades. And they charged Herman Wallace and Albert Woodfox with those murder. They had nothing to do with it. And them 2 guys spent 43 years in solitary confinement, the longest of any prisoners. But anyway, I met Albert Woodfox. I met Geronimo Pratt. And these guys were just as peaceful and calm as they can be. One more quick thing. the political prisoners like the Shem Shung Haru, who protected the throne of Kemet, who protected Maat. They desired peace. They desired peace, but they was prepared to fight, organized to fight. The black radicals, they was trained in karate and judo. They had cells where they was practice their fighting skills. These guys was anyway, I can talk about this forever. Anyway, I think that's about it. That's long enough for me. Anyway, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Baba Damani. Again, this is a level of scholarship and research and understanding I know I didn't appreciate and didn't really understand it existed. Thank him.
Hey, Brother Bill, can I say one more thing?
Yes, please.
In the final analysis, what the revolutionaries wanted was peace.
Yes.
What they wanted was to create space so they could practice they wanted space to prioritize their health. What we're doing today, prioritize their health. Prioritize their health, spirituality, and character development. That's what they was trying to create space to do. Brother Yomo and Wally, in a lot of letters to his sister, to his daughter Amia Wally, explained all these things. And so these guys really wanted peace, but they was prepared to fight, organized to fight, mentally, physically, and psychologically. And I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course, the story we got from the other side was only about their preparations for fighting. But that's what we expect, right? Okay, that's why we have to have our own scholars, teachers, voices to understand. Sister Sabrina, you have another song for us?
I do. Very good, Damani. I just wanted to give you your kudos and appreciate the historical tribute. Yes, I have another song, and let me stand up to sing this. I have to stand when I sing. And I just want to acknowledge too, I hope I can say this. I quietly sat in on the Bible study, the book study today from 9 to 10. It was wonderful. It was all I could do not to be tempted to jump in the conversation. So I may start attending that when I can, if that's okay.
Ashe.
Yeah, it was great. It was great discussion. Anyway, I just want to acknowledge something before I sing this song, and that is, I don't think I've ever seen a family that's come together to this degree, to be so supportive of one another after our minister ascended, and supportive of Mama Doris and the family, although sometimes I wonder if she's the one supporting us and holding us up. She has, from what I've been observing, incredible strength, and so appreciated. But anyway, let's keep this going, this level of support and love for one another, way beyond now. I think Minister Imhotep would want us to. And I think this Bill Withers song called Lean on Me is a good reminder of where we want to continue to be. Way beyond this. Feel free to sing on the chorus. Just call on me, brothers. You don't have to unmute it. You can sing it from wherever you are. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrows, but if we are wise and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. So just call on me, brothers, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So just call on the brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear and you can't carry, I'm right up the road and I'll share your load. If you just call me when you need a friend. Call me on the phone, call me when you need a friend. If you ever need a friend, I love you. Call me, call me, call me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was an honor.
I see. And now, woman who brings to mind for me that there is nothing beautiful except in relationship. Every time I see our minister Alicia, I understand. Yes, that's what Professor Arma meant. This is the woman with our message today, Minister Alicia Teasley. Please.
Brother Bill, we gotta do the litany of sacrifice.
Oh, here we go, skipping again. No, thank you, Bobby Ed. Litany of sacrifice. A little early. Okay, we'll get going. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us, who will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors, who will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people? Gladly, we bring our sacrifices to you. We praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good. Unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Ujichagalia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We'll believe with all our hearts in our God, our people,
and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Ashe. And now we give thanks for the donations that are being offered. I got the donation addresses, but we'll get back to that. If you will, send your donations either online at wosecommunity.org or at wosesac.org or by traditional mail. And we understand that not everyone could be here today to share with us. We ask Amun-Ra to look over those who could not be here. We thank Amun-Ra for the donations, for the work, for the time, for the love that has been showered on all of us. Amun-Ra, please continue to strengthen us, guide us toward your light. Amen. Ashe.
Jay.
And collections behind us. Now it is time for our dear Minister Alicia. And please, Minister Alicia, please step forward.
Ashe. Ashe. Give thanks. And we turn to my gallery so I can see your beautiful faces. There you are. There you are. Greetings, greetings, everyone. I'm going to jump right in. Okay, so I want to give us the freedom writings for today come from the Hosea, page 8. And it is the 4 good deeds of the Creator, and it's the 4th deed that I want to read, which is, I made the hearts of men and women so that they would not forget the day of death, so that sacred offerings might be made to the divine powers of the district. And this too is one of the deeds. And now all the way over to page 93. In the book of the Declarations of Virtues, we read on number 1, Harwa, chief official of the high priestess of Amun-Ra, says, I am a noble for whom one should act, one of firm heart to the end of life. I am one beloved of his city, praised by his district, kind-hearted to his towns. I have done what the people love and God praises. I was one truly venerated and had no fault, who gave bread to the hungry and clothes to the naked. I put an end to pain and erased wrongdoing. I buried the blessed, supported the aged, and satisfied the needs of the have-nots. I was a shelter for the child and help to the widow, one who gave rank even to an infant. I did these things knowing their value and knowing their reward from the Lord of Maat. In a word, to endure in the mouth of the people without end, to be well remembered for years and years to come. Ashe. So the title of today's message is Value Your Living. Value your living. How we live our lives is of the utmost importance. This society would have us believe that most of what we do does not matter. So many people don't give weight to values and morals anymore. This society was not built on the principles of Ma'at, of course. it was not even built on the principles to which it's said to be built on. And even the hype that many have been sold about the values that we should stand for has been exposed for the longest of time and is exposed now to those who were still sleeping as only control tactics and lies. But we Africans here are not this society, and we have DNA remembrance of a different way to govern, a different way to be, and a different and higher set of values that are held to high esteem among us when lived into its fullness. For us, how we live our lives is the utmost importance. The intelligence and wisdom it takes to weigh facts, to have hindsight and foresight when making decisions, and the spiritual awareness of our bodies, minds, spirits, and souls all inform how we move, what we do, what we value as individuals and as a collective. Our ancestors value eloquent speech because of their knowledge of beauty, harmony, and the divine power of Heka. Heka is magic, it's words of power. We understood when knowing the creations that indeed every word of God came into being through that which the heart and mind thought and the tongue commanded. Thus, by means of the word, all faculties and qualities were fashioned and created, which furnish all food and yield all nourishment. So we knew these things. So we valued the word because we know its power. Our ancestors valued giving and receiving, reciprocity. We understood that the balancing of the land lies in Maat. We understood that our wealth and our strength are in the house of our Lord. We understood that well cared for is humankind who are the flocks of God. So we valued reciprocity because it is in harmony with the earth, and know that the Most High takes care of us so we do not have to hoard riches, but can clothe the naked and feed the poor and give abode to those who have none with an open heart. We also value and hold in high regard internal spiritual work. The deep work that it takes to control our thoughts and to control our actions. The work that it takes to devote oneself to purpose. The work of trusting and having faith in those masters until such time as you can trust and have faith in yourself. The inner work, the inner way to be cracked open enough to learn, assimilate, and be fearless enough to wield the truth. We honor that inner work. The inner work that it takes to not harbor resentment in your heart for those who do you wrong by accident and those who do you wrong on purpose. That's the inner work of forgiveness. That is not a simple thing. The work that it takes to have the desire to cultivate. Cultivation in and of itself takes time and care, and it takes our attention. Cultivation takes some sweat, some physical and mental exertion of energies. It is so much work, especially in this day and age, to cultivate the ability to know right from wrong and to tell the real from the unreal. Especially this day and age where we have AI, that anything that we look at can be fake. And we may not know it unless they put it down there in the caption. They even go to the point where I do handwork, crocheting, knitting, that type of thing. In the crochet knitting community, they'll have pictures up of beautiful, intricate things. Oh, this is so beautiful. You can make this. But you look closely and you say, that's an AI generated pattern. So no, you probably couldn't make that. It's fake. You can be able to generate something that looks like it, but it's not going to come out like that because it's a fake pattern. And that would be our cultivation, to be able to tell the right from wrong and the real from the unreal. But these things our ancestors valued. It wasn't until we were taking on other mentalities from other people did we begin to see these things as weaknesses and liabilities. How we live our life is so important. The discipline it takes here on this earth, ran by those who are only spiritually developed to the first level, is immense. We Africans have the DNA codes to see the wider and broader picture, to have the ability to expand our consciousness and lift humanity by living our philosophies of each one teach one, our concepts of Ubuntu, I am because we are, and our knowledge of Maat, truth, justice, balance, order, propriety, reciprocity, and harmony. We just have to live it, to come back to ourselves. Let our values work for us. Even the Bible will tell you, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. That means none. That means zero. Don't envy the oppressor and choose none of his ways. If Ma'at is our value system, we have to be about it. And we cannot use Ma'at against each other to prove our point. So please stop. That is just an aside. You can take it how you take it. Let's just make sure that we are not doing that. But if Ma'at is our value system, we have to be about it. We have to live Ma'at on purpose. Live Ma'at consciously. Figure out how to bring order to your living and put it into practice. Make a plan to balance your living, yourself. Make a plan to balance your plate, even what you're eating, what you're looking at, how you're spending your time. Make a specific effort to put that into place and balance it out. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. At Minister Imhotep's celebration, the brother from the Elders Metro Sacramento said Imhotep said Black people need to stop lying to each other. We don't want to alienate. We don't want to burn bridges. We don't want to spew hate or get attitudes, all sassy mouthed and whatnot, but we need to tell the truth. We need to tell the truth in the most loving way possible, with the highest good for all in our minds as our filter, and remembering the value of eloquent speech. And if you can't tell the truth eloquently, just live it. Live it by example. Let people learn what the truth is by how you live. The way we live our lives is so important. We look at our text that I read. We see Harwa, who is a chief official of the high priestess of Amun-Ra. Now, Harwa was immensely powerful. He served Amenid, I cannot say this name, I'm trying. He served Amenid Erigis as the high priestess. When she performed the rituals, held ceremonies, she did the festivals, she entered the most sacred parts of the temple, and she controlled the temple resources. Harwa was the manager to the temple resources, the estates, the land. So he was very, very important. And he has one of the largest non-royal tombs ever built in Kemet. That's Harwa. So when we reread it with that knowledge, he says, I am a noble for whom one should act, one of firm heart to the end of life. I am one beloved of his city, praised by his district, kind-hearted to his towns. I was one truly venerated and had no fault, who gave bread to the hungry and clothes to the naked. I put an end to pain and erased wrongdoing. I buried the blessed, supported the aged, and satisfied the needs of the had-nots. I was a shelter for the child and help to the widow, one who gave rank even to the infant. This is someone who is in power with immense power. And he's saying how he governed because he was the right hand of the high priestess. And he said, I did these things knowing their value. Value. He knew their importance. He knew their worth. He knew their usefulness and their benefits to do the things that he did. And their reward from the land of Maat, in a word, to endure in the mouth of the people without end, to remain in existence in the mouth of the people without end, to last in the mouth of the people. That was the reward. Now, if you think about it and you look at it, Harwa existed in the 25th dynastic period of Egypt, or Kemet. That was approximately 747 to 656 BCE. It is today, in the year of our Lord, 2025. And guess who's saying his name? Guess whose name is in the mouth of the people? He was doing these things with knowing the value of what he did, which is taking proper care of the people that he was over. He was taking proper care of what he was entrusted with. He was valuing his living. He was valuing Ma'at. And he took that upon himself and made it for real and lived that way. The way we live our life is of the utmost importance. I was thinking of this because in thinking of Minister Imhotep's life, it is a life well lived. And it served as inspiration to me while he was visiting and working here on planet Earth for these few years. And when you're thinking about inspiration, you're thinking about something that causes you to feel or causes you to act. And when we pour libations, I usually say those who you call out the names of those who inspired you in your life. Yes, your family line, your bloodline, but also those who inspired you to feel a certain way or to act and do a certain thing just by living. And this is what we want to strive for. And he was someone that if you ask him, he wouldn't say he was special beyond the capacity of you or I. He was someone who lived the passion that he had in his heart. And when Most High called him to the ministry, he was someone that was willing and said yes to the path the Most High laid out before him. He valued his living, so he did what he could to live well. So many talked about his health and how healthy he was always being, sun gazing, drinking his water, doing Dr. Sebi diets, things of that nature. But as he said, we haven't come here to stay. As he said, no one gets out of this alive. So the inner and outer work he did was beautiful, and it flourished, and he shined in his obedience to the Most High. And the same can be the truth with each and every one of us. Most High, in his infinite wisdom, received minister at the time that was right. Now, when you look and see the cultivation of relationship, you look and see the love of his counterpart and his children and his family. When you see the dedication to the church, you look back on the statue, excuse me, you look back on his stature, the style of delivery of his messages, and even the nerd jokes that he had, because he did have some nerd jokes. He had some voices that he did. That's exactly what it was, but it was wonderful. We see how very important it is the way we live our life. And he will be someone whose name will be remembered for years and years to come. Our ancestors valued Maat. Ptahhotep says, "For Ma'at, the way of truth, justice, and righteousness is great. Its value is lasting, and it has remained unequal and unchanged since the time of its creator." These were the values of our ancestors. These are the values that they have carved into stone so that all the way in 2025 we can find them and input them into our being. And this is how we have our power. This is how we have our name last. In the 42 Precepts of Ma'at by Muwada Ashby, on page 106, he talks about the movement into the seventh energy center with spiritual enlightenment and immortality. It's when we have discovered that Ma'at is all. So there's a few quotes that he has down here that I want to read. It says, "Those who live today will die tomorrow. Those who die tomorrow will be born again. Those who live Ma'at will not die." It says, "No one reaches the beneficent West unless their heart is righteous by doing Ma'at. There is no distinction made between the inferior and the superior person. It only matters that one is found faultless when the balances and the two weights stand before the Lord of eternity. No one is free from the reckoning. Jehudi holds the balances to count each one according to what they have done on earth." And then the last quote, "Ma'at is in every place that is yours. You rise with Ma'at. You live with Ma'at. You join your lamps to Ma'at. You make Ma'at rest on your head in order that she may take her seat on your forehead. You become young again in the sight of your daughter Ma'at. You live from the perfume of her dew. Ma'at is worn like an amulet at your throat. She rests on your chest. The divine entities reward you with Ma'at, for they know her wisdom. Your right eye is Ma'at. Your left eye is Ma'at. Your flesh, your members are Ma'at. Your food, your drink is Ma'at. The breath of your nose are Ma'at, and you exist because Ma'at exists, and vice versa." It is so very important the way we live our lives. And looking back on the passage, it says, "I am a noble for whom one should act, one of firm heart to the end of life. I am one beloved of his city, praised by his district, kind-hearted to his towns. I have done what the people love and God praises. I was one truly venerated and had no fault, who gave bread to the hungry and clothes to the naked. I put an end to pain and erased wrongdoing. I buried the blessed, supported the aged, and satisfied the needs of the have-nots. I was a shelter for the child and help to the widow, one who gave rank even to an infant. I did these things knowing their value and knowing their reward from the Lord of Ma'at. In a word, to endure in the mouth of the people without end, to be well remembered for years and years to come. So, brothers and sisters, let's value our living. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Thank you, Minister Alicia.
Ashe.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ashe, ashe.
Thank you. Ashe.
Ashe. Maat.
So, anyone who is not yet a member of WOSEC, I think you hear what we're about. It's about Maat. And if today is your day to join WOSEC, drop a line in the chat to myself or Mr. Alicia, and we'll make that happen. Bring you in, bring you up to speed on Ma'at and Nguza Saba and the central meaning of WOSEC. Anyone? Oh, all familiar members. Well, then we'll press on. Baba Jeff, you can lead us with our national anthem. And now, unto them who is able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high, may they empower us to be a people with one aim,
One aim,
one vision,
one vision,
one faith,
one faith,
One faith,
one love,
one love,
one heart,
one heart,
and one God.
one God.
You are the most beautiful people on the face of the earth.